Pearl has managed to do something that I never thought they would do for a long time, which is inputting a new 4-star. I know, I'm a little late to the party, but can you blame me? I wanted to go ahead and talk about this because I just made a video a couple of days ago talking about how characters like Zani and Brant needed their signature weapon and or their team comp. I feel like this is also a better solution because we have a lot of good 5 stars in the game, like Verena and Sanwa, which she's not a 5-star, but she is a 4-star, but she's a good 4-star. And I just want to see more of that in most gacha games that I play, that they have decently well built 4-stars. I'm not saying that they need to be buffed or anything like that, but to have a 4-star alternative when it comes to these characters that need a specific team comp or their SIGs, it's nice to have other options other than their 5-star teams. Now I understand like people like Zani or Brand needing their signature weapon and or their team comp that they do excellently well in, but it's also nice to have an alternative for like the free-to-play players who can't get every single character. Just like how they made with Augusta and Ayuno, they do work well together, and if you pair them together in a team, Ayuno's kit basically complements Augusta's. They are the moon and sun, so they obviously complement each other really well. But you don't have to get Ayuno for Augusta. Augusta can work perfectly great and fine on her own with Mortifi and Shorekeeper or Verena if you have her. And it's just nice to have other alternative options if you can't afford to get every single character for this team or this niche. So them introducing a new 4-star really opens the doors of possibilities. Now, I'm not exactly sure like what her weapon is or anything. They just released her like promo a couple of days ago of what she looks like. And obviously we've seen her in the story already, so she's already an interesting character, but I don't know what use she's going to have until they go deeper into that, which is going to be really exciting. So whatever the new character comes out, I don't know if bullying will come out during Chishia's banner or anything or the next banner after that. I'm not exactly sure how early bullying is supposed to come, but she's a really cool 4-star just based off her designs and everything. She looks really cool and interesting. She looks like she'd be fun to play with. I don't know, she seems like a character that would have a very fun play style, but I don't know. I'm hoping that bullying will be useful in the sense that she's not going to be too weak compared to our other 5-stars or other 4-stars. Like there's a lot of good 4-stars in Wuthering Waves that we have, like Mortifi, Sanwa, and a couple of others that I can think of right now, but we don't have a lot of 4-stars that are great. You know, I'm not saying that they need to be buffed or they need to be fantastic, but I do need something that's going to sustain me just for a little while until I can get whatever their team comp or their SIG is. It's just nice to have another alternative because when you feel like you're confined and forced to get a specific character, that means you really need to invest in that character. You really need to take the time to put money and time into that character. Otherwise, they just won't play well and you're gonna notice that. So it's nice to have things like Sunwa, which she's a really good 4-star and she's free to play players can definitely utilize the heck out of her, and they don't really have to do much. Like that's a good, and this is all to say that in most gacha games that I play, they need to start implementing more 4-stars, and not just 4-stars, but 4-stars that are decently well. Like I'm talking about they can do a good amount of damage or they can do a good amount of healing. Like they're okay, but they're not like bad or anything. I also play Honkai Star Rail, and there's a lot of 4-stars that have either been kicked to the back or they're still pretty relevant in today's meta, such as Gallagher, which he's a really good sustainer. He's a really good 4-star sustainer, and I've heard a lot of people making videos about how good he is when it comes to playing in certain teams like the Dot team, which I do have him playing in that as well. And it's just nice to see that there are 4-star alternatives to certain things, so that way you're not forced to get this certain character. There is an alternative for you. Gallagher is a great sustainer for like first time players if they're first trying to play the game or try to get into endgame. He's a really good sustainer. He's starting to fall off a little bit, but he still holds up. And then we also have a couple of other supports And then we also have like a couple of other supports like Branya and Himiko and all those that after a while they become less relevant and not in a good way. Now, I do feel like in Honkai Star Rail and even Genshin Impact, they have a lot of characters, a lot of 4 stars and a lot of 5 stars. And the 5 stars specifically have like a duration of every time they get reran. And so this may be an unpopular opinion, but I do feel as if after a while of a 5 star being like reran and released and everything, they should just become like a 4 star in the way. Like, I'm not saying that they should be like less than or anything, but I do feel like when you have a lot of characters like that, a lot of 5 stars like that, it's hard to rerun the older units for people who, let's say, want to still get Black Swan or Kafka, all those old characters. After a while, they become useless and irrelevant, and you can't really utilize them to the fullest capacity. For me personally, for my dot team, I already have Hysolins and Kafka. I got Kafka pretty early, but next I need Black Swan. I don't know when Black Swan's rerun banner will be, or if she's just going to rerun along with another newer 5 star, because I still need Black Swan. I still need a couple of old 5 star units in the game that I'm not exactly sure when they're going to get reran. So it's probably better that Hoyo just makes it where when those old characters become irrelevant, they should just start rerunning them like 3 banners at a time, or have it where they become 4 stars where you can get them a lot quicker, because they're just like, it just makes no sense because you have all of these new characters and new end game that requires those new characters to clear the end game. It just makes sense that all the older characters that have had less and less reruns should just become 4 stars where you can just get them quickly or something of that nature. And it's the same thing with Wuthering Waves. Like, I have been waiting for Camelia's rerun banner ever since I missed it the last time. I don't know how many reruns she's already had, but I'm still waiting for that girl's rerun banner, and I don't know when she'll get reran. I'm not exactly sure if I should hold my hopes up or anything. Like, I'm hoping she's going to get reran at least one more time before this year ends, but I don't know. I don't know what Kuro has in store. She might even rerun with Chishia. I'm not exactly sure. I'm hoping that's the case, but then that'll make things pretty difficult for me because those are 2 characters that I want. So I'll really have to pick and choose there. Kuro introducing a new 4-star really just opens the door for more team comps and opportunities. Like, yes, you have your ultimate team that really works or synergizes well with each other, like Zani, Phoebe, and Shorekeeper. Like, that's the ultimate team, and Kuro has made Zani and Phoebe in a certain way where their kits complement one another, and that's the ideal team that Kuro wants you to play it in. But then there's also these 4-star options as well, that if you don't have Zani or if you don't have Phoebe, it's going to still help you clear certain things. But probably in the future, if you are interested in that niche or archetype, you're going to have to invest in it a lot more in the future. Like, yes, this is just a temporary option, but what you really want is a permanent solution. That's why in all of my videos, I'm always saying how I want these characters, or I want this character, or I want that character. But in gacha games in general, they make characters where they need a specific team comp in order to clear anything, or they need their signature weapon, which makes things extra hard, because if you're a free-to-play player, you can't get every single character that you want, plus their team comp, plus their signature weapon if you don't spend any money. And even for low spenders, it can be a lot. It can be a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Even when I made my second alt account for Wuthering Waves, there's still just some characters and weapons that I just can't get when I want them, when I want to get them. So I'll either have to wait for their rerun or wait until they become more relevant in the meta. And that being said, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on the new 4-star. I know a lot of people have already talked about it and are basically excited about bullying. I'm actually happy. There's a lot of characters in Wuthering Waves that can be potential 4-stars. Bullying is a great example of one. Even though she was a part of the story, she wasn't like the main center focus. There's a lot of characters like that aren't like 5-stars, but they can be potential 4-star, you know, potential great 4-stars is what I'm saying. There's a lot of creativity in the NPCs in the game, and I love to see that. So let me know down below your guys' thoughts and opinions on that, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye bye.